Hey Virgo, how are you doing? It looks like we have quite the story here. I'm getting a lot. I've done splits ahead of time just to get some initial energies, and I've been letting it sit on the table for a day or two. But I almost hesitated. I did put the Lenormand cards back in the Lenormand deck and attempt to start over with that, because I thought that is it almost seemed like too much. But then I went back and I was like, no, I know my people always speak what they mean to me, and so I'll take it out. I'm going to do a little overview here, and then we'll do a full tarot read, yes. But I want to see how these sit with you, just to give you an idea right up front. In the Lenormand, see how this sits. What hit me hardest, well, it's hard to say. No, it's not hard to say. It's always hard to see the dog come out in reverse. Now, either the loss of a dog, but the dog is a loyal friend. So something about a friendship or a dog has come into a change, shall we say. We also have the 10 cups there in reverse with a 9. The 18, that could be a south node, north node reference, because the south node and north node run on 18 years, 7 months. That's one of their cycles. We do have the trouble, though. It is past. You could say, should I take these all in the upright? But I checked the deck, and no, it was very, very clearly coming out all in reverse. So the troubles are past. And here we have, I believe, the King of Wands with a 6 in reverse. So a 6 is a gift, though. But with the King of Wands in reverse, then we're looking for direction. We don't know what direction we're going in. Let's see if I can clear the shadow out of... No, I can't. My own arm's causing it. We do have the snake. Now, for me, the snake, regardless of who interprets it what way in Lenormand, and here we have the Queen of Wands, right? So we have the King and Queen coming out together, and the Queen with this transformation of 7, or standing her ground, possibly. But there's wisdom here. This is oracle energy for me. It can mean... No, I think even... No, I'm going to read it that way. There's this ability, the Pythoness, the African prophetesses for 6,000 years who basically ruled the Mediterranean. And that's where all the smear campaigns come from, is against them. In so many ways. But the wisdom of this, that's what I'm getting first off, especially since I have this dog in reverse as well, and this blessing, this recognition. Okay, the book. No, it's not the bouquet. It's a compassion card. It's a compassion card with the Knight of Swords. Not of Knight of Swords. God, Knight of Hearts, Cups. So we have Scorpio energy here with a 24, so that's another 6. So that gift is probably linked to this gift. And of course if we have Scorpio energy here, now we have 3 people. We have 3 people, and this, possibly a pet, possibly a friend. I'll see how that goes. But what came out with it as well, and those came out together, and then I checked the bottom, like I checked what's under and at the top. Seems to be driving this is another Queen. Now, if it's the same energy or not, but at this crossroads, the Queen of Pentacles. So deep magic in this, with a 22, which is a master number. So some direction needed to be taken, and maybe it was taken. But Pentacles energy for me is the deepest magic, because it's bringing the spiritual into the physical. And we have this commitment here. something had struck me about that, particularly not necessarily a relationship, but it is in the Wands energy. It's a fresh start. It's a 25, which gives us a 7, which is matching the 7 of the Queen of Wands. But it is a commitment, and it's in the upright, along with the anchor. So anchoring yourself to what gives you strength. So because the anchor is with this commitment, right? And then this, now maybe she didn't go off in another direction. That's what we'll figure out. That's what I'll find out. We have the 9 of Swords with with an 8, proving yourself to yourself. 9 of Swords for me being Aquarius. Now, and with the Ace of Wands, Wands energy for me, when it's the Ace, the 2, the 3, and the 4 in Aries, it's all about how long it takes you in this life to remember, to wake up to who you really are. I don't know how easy it is to figure out where we came from, or to figure out where we're returning to, yes? But waking up in time, how long does it take? And how long does it take the people in your life to wake up as well? Or are they waking up? All of that stuff, right? Who is invested in their journey here? Whether or not, now for me it's a prison planet, so we're hacking the system. But so that's what's going on. I feel like there's more to know through this even than, we'll get into the tarot though. This is my animal spirit little oracle deck here. Well, it's not even an oracle deck, it's just plain deck, right? I've had it since I was a child. This tells me who, I have 3 parrots in my life through one of my clients that has the monarch butterfly on it, which speaks to me of monarch mind control, and the elephant, which speaks of Ganesha energy, Lord Ganesha, memory, your story, things that need to be repeated. Okay, so when these cards come out upright or in reverse, then I know who's being controlled or who is free to act of their own volition, or maybe not free will, but who will answer for their actions. And so the Queen of Wands repeats, okay? So we have her in the Lenormand, and here she is again, and she's controlled. Now either she has a memory problem, or somebody's controlling her, or she is controlling. But here we have the 7 of Cups again, and the 7 of Pentacles. So this 7 and this Queen, this 7 energy, standing her ground, but transforming, becoming. So we have Scorpio energy, and we have, for me, Virgo energy with the 7 of Pentacles, because I matched them to the houses. So others would put it as Taurus, but I put it as Virgo, which means it's time, place, sensitive. Everything Virgo's like a time lord kind of energy. So, and that would have to do with the mind. It would have to do with Mercury, right? Because Mercury rules Virgo. So we have something to do with a dead situation or dead energy that is coming back and then committing completely to spirit guides, usually with Scorpio. Answering to them completely, becoming a complete spiritual force on earth. And then this huge manifesting energy. They're one of the, yeah, okay. So, but she's repeating, but she's Wands. So Sagittarius energy. But any Wands. So she's unprotected either way. With that, now, and let me just double check these 7s. There she is, controlled. Yeah, it's all controlled. There's no free will here. So that could be completely charted energy as well. Okay? There's no ability for her to go along, except to go along with it. And we have all the more Pentacles energy here, either a page or a knight. So possibly a child, or yeah, someone with even less ability than hers, except that these are both in the upright. So someone affecting that Queen of Wands, or the Queen of Wands is affecting this. Again, here we have Virgo energy. For me, this is Capricorn energy. And that has everything to do with the story you're here to tell, the bigger picture of your existence, even beyond this prison planet. So everything to do with memory as well, though. So this could be bigger picture energy. Absolutely. So that's the story I have over there. So you see, there is a huge story coming through here, Virgo. Let's just take a moment here. We have the Scorpio energy repeating with the Six of Cups. For me, this is Taurus energy with the Ace of Pentacles. I'll also bring in, I find the Nakshatra astrology very, very helpful because it's so specific because it's been around for 24,000 years. So I've got chart work that I can bring out that we can match these cards numerically, right, to positions in the Nakshatra chart and see if there's anything that matches, that resonates for you with those placements in terms of activities and personality types that are attached to those parts of the chart. But what came through normally I go for one card with, this is Mel Brown's Aboriginal Spirit deck, and Mel Brown for me is the most powerful person on earth right now. Her decks are the most powerful decks as far as I'm concerned. For oracles, of course, Pamela Coleman Smith is always rocking it. But manifestation, I think, is the theme for you. And right underneath it was this deception reversed. Now, Mel gives very unusual explanations to her cards, so you can get a theme going in your head based on the word, and then when I read it out, she takes you in even another direction. But we'll get into those later on once we're done with the tarot and with the Lenormand. Okay, look at all that purple though. Look at all that psychic, that connection, right? So, but I don't think I've ever had the manifestation card come out for me before. And what's really interesting is for the third time, what's underneath it? The Jewish, okay, the temple card is underneath it, but we're going to go with this one because this one is speaking very strongly to me right now. Out of Nigeria, this is the Jukun Okuma mask. The Jukun people have rituals that are very similar to rituals that show up in Egypt. This is out of Nigeria, or what we call now Nigeria, that probably nobody that lives there actually calls it, but I had family members who were missionaries over there, and they brought the Orisha back to me. They didn't mean to, but they did. And so I've had the Orisha in my life, putting me through all kinds of interesting spiritual experiences, and I didn't know for years that it was the Orisha. I knew where they were coming from, but I didn't have the research yet. Now, whether or not this mask ties into the Orisha, but geographically they're near each other. So if you're not familiar with the Orisha, they are God's helpers. They're not God. They're often referred to as gods and goddesses in their own right, but I think the true religion, so Santeria is attached to this as well. Yoruba is the name of the people, but it's actually an incorrect name. Given to them by basically the Portuguese. It's too broad. It's a name that doesn't come from the peoples, and there are so many different peoples and so many different languages, so it's like more like a language group, but it's not accurate anyway. But I do believe that they are God's helpers, not truly gods and goddesses in their own right. So we're talking about some very powerful either ancestors or almost angelic beings, right? I don't know if I want to clap. I'm not comfortable with angels myself, so I don't want to disrespect the Orisha by saying that's definitely it. But so this ties us into, but it does tie us into voodoo and ancestor worship. So it takes us back to that snake energy of the African prophetesses. So there might be some research you want to do. But we'll get into this. This is a Susan Shepherd card, one of her Phoenix cards. And Susan Shepherd just had to leave us last April 19th. And she had to leave her 22-year-old daughter as well. Short-lived battle with cancer after a lifetime of other health problems. A tremendous witch, a tremendous woman, and astrologer, card maker. I often disagree with her, get into disagreements with her, but so this could be even past life work for you, or it's time getting you to connect with, I like it for the geographical and the historic and the cultural, right? So we get into that as well. But if that's resonating at all, Virgo, then I've got the Wild Kuan Yin. We'll finish up with her. And what's really interesting is in the Divine Doors, and I'll get 2 more doors. We've got Green Man energy rocking in the windows here, which takes us into more world history. You can see the eyes. Yes. So that for me automatically speaks of Green Man energy, if you haven't looked up Green Man. And that takes us to Great White Brotherhood. Not that they came up with Green Man, but they certainly employ it a lot. It's a 3-eyed raven. As sunrise hits upon the dew, a messenger raven calls out with news. Prepare for the unexpected. So that's where we're at. I've got blue underneath. There might be a message coming in through to you from somebody on the other side. But we'll get 2 more doors. I'll leave the blue one in there and we'll shuffle and see if it comes out, or another blue door comes out again for affirmation. If you're at all interested, at the end of this reading, which we'll probably upload in about 3 parts, I'm going to do a walkthrough of my astrology workbook that goes for 13 months. I'm finishing it up. I'm in the final house right now, in Sagittarius's house. This is missing some of it. It's 350 plus pages because I don't have the fire houses in here. But it'll, I don't know if for sure if I'll be running it again this April. It starts in April. I might pause for a year, but if you're at all interested, let me know. And if you want to watch the walkthrough, it'll take about half an hour for me at the end of this reading, and I'll flip through the pages and give you an idea of what's involved. It's very, very thorough. It's an incredible experience. It basically, it can't accomplish everything in a year, but it accomplishes a lot. Going through the houses, going through the constellation work, the sign work, included in the Nakshatras, including the tarot decks, how they match up, the world history, as accurate as we can get it, who God is, who your guides are, all that stuff. There's a lot of root work. It's just a tremendous amount of root work. So let's get set up here and get a couple more doors. Okay. So I've decided, even though it's quite the story, I'm going to put it over here, the Lenormand, as backstory. And we've got our other deck over here. And I'm going to focus on what the tarot can tell us. And that's popping out in the deck, but let's just, okay, that's a clear one. Interesting, we have an inversion of the green, like it's, right? It's close to center. Okay, magic. Also, you get the sense of, because there are striations of light and shadow, so getting past hurdles, or past, you know, there's a passage, there's a, oh, this, okay. This is the second time took a photo of this because it's one that I actually haven't paid close attention. I don't know why I didn't pay close attention to it. But they, it only came out for the first time. I've had the deck for a couple of years, and it only came out for the first time last month. Very interesting. Like, it's a very fabulous looking door that can't actually really function anymore. Right? And it has a bolt and a chain on it. Yes. Okay. So let's see. Let's see where we're going with this, and then we'll try and patch. We'll see where these fit into the story. All right. Yes. The temple. I wouldn't be surprised if this. No. could guess. Is it Angkor Wat? I wonder. I know that Andre Ingracias is very fond of Angkor Wat, but patience, everything soon will come to light, and then you will see things will be all right. Pass this card on. When I see pass this card on, it means other people's energy and other people's timelines are involved. So there's something about coordinating here. And you might have to hold up waiting while they catch up. Something was something was glued to there and pulled off, right? Nice. Oh, okay, and we have the Lotus at the bottom, or something similar, because this is the Sacred Lotus card. Yes. Again, compassion in action, the chosen tool. I see now the Lotus in your spirit's jewel. So back to the compassion. The compassion that's in reverse over in Lenormand. Now, compassion, something that Mel, over there in the Aboriginal Spirit deck, something she's so good at, and her ancestors are so good at, is separating the understanding of compassion from the understanding of empathy and sympathy. Because there is a compassion card in that deck. And she's takes great care, not only in saying that love, in the love card, love needs to be conditional because it needs to set the boundaries, and that's the whole character of love. But compassion is knowing what a situation, doing what the situation needs over and above, like being able to have the emotional separation from a situation so that you're not just bleeding out into it with empathy or sympathy. To be able to empathize and sympathize, yes, but then basically to respond in a way that gives the result, that supplies the action required, that's appropriate to the situation. That is compassion. All right, and look at this rusty orangey brown energy that's coming through all three cards with the hint of green. No green in this one, which is interesting. So there's magic coming in versus the state to be in. Okay. All right, so we'll set those up. Third eye, three-eyed raven, patience, Sacred Lotus. Okay, so keep those in mind. Now, another thing that I noticed was the Two of Wands underneath these 6 cups. The decks are speaking to me in bunches lately. And the Four of Pentacles. Head aligned with heart, but the stability. So there's magic coming in, and this portal of this opportunity, right? There's also stability underneath it, right? So it's bringing in potentially stability, which you would expect a pentacle to do. Now, don't get stuck in the past. This is actually like in the Nakshatras, it lines up with Secret Service energy. It's sort of this figure in the background is hinting at it, that because of course they know these guys took all of their ideas from Jyotish, from the Vedic astrology, well, from multiple astrologies, but the oldest goes back to the India subcontinent area. Yes, 24,000 years is hard to beat, although. And that's in, okay, record. Anyway, let's not pick that argument right now, Kristen. This 6, this gift, right? We have that gift repeated over here. Scorpio energy again. So something to do, but it's something to do. Scorpio is all about the scavenger hunt. Scorpio is all about finding the spiritual secrets, finding the things. That and the first nakshatra, Sagittarius as well. Again, waking up to who you are and the 2 of the direction to take. Where'd you come from? Where are you going? on the big scale, on the big, you know, in the bigger picture. Where's your heaven? Who put you here? How do you get back there? What are you doing while you're here? What is the reason for all of this? What's the bigger picture? What's the perspective? And you see this card is on this side and it's focusing over here to the situation. Not that it wouldn't be pointing in any other direction. It points in the direction it's pointing. But if it were over here, I might not be so inclined to connect it to that, right? So there's this, the past. There's, maybe this is the present. Let's breathe into the cards a bit. Okay, that's more for, that's for our sake, not for the guide's sake. I would say I work especially with Kali. I answer also to the Orisha, to the prophetesses, to the oracles. The oracles actually, and you know why? Okay. Virgo, their star Purima in your constellation. You have some very interesting stars in your constellation. You have Purima and you have Spica, which is Chitra. Next to, in the last pada of Chitra is the forbidden path. What I put as in shorthand as the forbidden path, to forbidden knowledge. Now, who's forbidden knowledge? And I would say it's exactly the knowledge that we're looking for. To crack the system. Purima, I think it's at Virgo's elbow. Anyway, Aerophile, Aragon is associated, is one of the stories for the Virgo constellation. Menelaus, I believe is his name. 1st century, the first Western written record of West's version of astrology based on everything else, right? He's probably African because there are 2 scholars that believe that. So I think we have a testimony, shall we say, about Aragon, the Virgo story, that connects all that prophetic, there's deep prophetic prophetess energy in your constellation connecting directly to Aragon, Aerophile being one of the African prophetesses, one of the Sibyls, one of the oracles, one of the, you know, and that all gets whitewashed. So that the Sistine Chapel has white oracles and not, and black slaves in behind who are actually, so Mami Wata, Mama Zagbe. Mama Zagbe is the scholar that I start with about this. And she has a YouTube channel, she has a website, she has books, excellent books. But in terms of the prophet will speak through you, oh no, the oracle will speak through you, Aerophile will speak through you, she will control your hand, she will control what you write. If you're born to her, shall we say spiritually. So does it mean strictly if you're Virgo, if you have strong placements around Prima? Prima is a name that they gave to one of the, I wouldn't say one of the muses. She's part of a trinity, sometimes dual sisterhood. So there's this overlap of who she really was versus how the Romans and the Greeks, you know, what they twist her into. But because we have this snake energy here, so there's something about your prophet abilities, shall we say. Something about that. Okay. So let's see here. Which you already probably know. Whoa. Look at that nice little stunt that card pulled. Now, what did I say about Sagittarius? The Queen of Wands. Okay, here we are. Jupiter and Sagittarius. I just finished a house chart for this, for 9th house, because I'm in 9th house right now. So I'm going to take this as affirmation of, what do I want to take it as affirmation of? Obviously, divine timing. This has everything to do with this Queen of Wands situation. That's why these two sevens, 7-7, when you have 7-7, then you are stepping into the life that you want. You're stepping into, it's one of those master numbers, yes? So you're there. You're getting to the life. And they have total control over this. Again, and then of course I'm forgetting with the 9 of Pentacles over here, the independence with the Virgo energy. Okay, absolutely divine timing. So this, obviously, is this the Patience card? No, Sacred Lotus. So we know exactly and everything will be all right. Okay, this is the Patience situation. Of course it affects this 2 of Wands. Maybe I'll put it right there in the heart of that. So the gift that's coming through, we could say, obviously this is coming through as a gift. So spirit guides or somebody on the other side is handing you this magic, this deep magic that will change. Now it could appear as work, money, you know, something that is materially helping you, obviously, but it is extremely magical. Okay, so they want me to talk about it for a minute because it came out face down and it's facing off with this. So it could be in opposition astrologically, which means these might need to be reconciled together. Either that or this is an obstruction to that. It's what's triggering you. But we can take that. We can take that and work with that, because if we know what it is, then we know what we can start to know what to do about it. There's something that needs to be. Now what's interesting is they wanted Sagittarius to look back. In Sagittarius's reading, several cards came out facing away from me and facing down. One actually fell in between these two candle holders facing backwards to make the point. It might be that you need to look forward rather than back. Because here we're looking back. Ooh, the finger of God. Finger of God, for me this is Gemini, 3rd house. So something that you know, and something that you either need to go back. I think tornadoes when I see this. You might need to go back and relearn learn something. You have to might have to unlearn something. Something might have been, but if we're looking forward, Mercury again here, which rules you. So Ace of Swords here. I did an uneven zodiac, so it's accurate. Actually, I have to fix it again because Aquarius is lasts a little too long. Pisces, Sun entered Pisces around between the 11th and 12th of March, maybe towards the 11th. But here I line, because it's 3rd house, I line the Ace, the 2, the 3, and the 4 of Swords with the 3rd house. And here I have It falls in the 4th pada of Mrigashira, which is, yeah, it's all to do with mediums. This is my older chart, which I still hadn't modified to be uneven. So it's accurate for the Nakshatras, because the Nakshatras are always accurate, because they divided the sky into equal parts and not made the constellations equal when the constellations aren't equal. And they're using 27 other fixed star and star constellations, obviously not the same ones. So, but because they did the scientifically, mathematically correct thing and divided the sky equally, rather than try to make uneven constellations even, which I don't know why we're still even pretending with that and using tropical over sidereal. Tropical gives you an aura because the calendar still runs according to tropical, right? But sidereal is what's closer to accurate. And the best of all, you can get Sky Safari or Stellarium. A Stellarium on your desktop, Sky Safari or Stellarium for your phone. And you can just track everything, which is what I did. And you can see it for yourself. But, so this medium, so being somebody who communicates for them is exactly what falls on this Ace of Swords. Anything. So the point being, Virgo, let's slap into the deck. What is, are you being isolated because of it? What is the deal with this friend, this loss, or what is this situation over here? Because we have, I just want to pause for a moment here. Yeah, okay. Oh. These are people, or even animal spirits, absolutely, who have passed over. 10 Cups being so Pisces and so all about spirit guides, as well as happy home and all that stuff. But you always got to look past the surface. But I'm that kind of, I'm a Scorpio rising, so I'm an Aries sun, so I'm looking for the bigger picture anyway, because it's the undercurrent. So whatever's going on in relationships, whatever's going on, like there's the primary conversation is between you and God. Yes, whoever God is, and your guides. And because of course your guides are going to serve your God, and then all your enemies, like all the demons and crappy people that you're up against, they're trying to stay on top of what God is doing with you, right? All these friends on the other side, or wherever they are, wherever that side is. I don't mean good or bad. I mean literally like where in the multiverse. Again, where did they go? Where did they go? Where do you go? Where did they come from? Where do you come from? Okay. So it might not be looking back. It is the divided mind. Not a divided mind. Okay. Things are converging. Well, we have the crossroads in reverse. You want to follow. Okay, it's almost squaring off. Again, face down. I think this will be the last tarot card we take. It's causing friction. It is making things to happen. Because right now, like there are things happening over here. We have time. Time is, yes, other people's timelines. Prepare for the unexpected. But no, in the patience, allowing for other people's progress. Wow. Page of Wands squaring off with the Two of Wands. Connecting this. not quite at a 90-degree angle. So Aries energy, the time it takes to wake up. The time it takes to wake up to this life. You don't have a choice. Other people do have more of a choice. If you're on a master timeline, then you still have to invest yourself in the process, but no, it's going to go the way it's going to go. And I'm not saying that how does this square off? Mars rules, obviously, so your loves and loyalties. There's the history of what you were set up to do. If you look at your Mars cycles, it's every 2 years, and Mars traces a heart around Earth, so to speak. Venus traces a 5-petaled flower every 8 years. Mercury traces a 3-leaf clover. It's really fascinating how micromanaged this whole thing is. But of course it has to be micromanaged. Just not well enough. But my hacker god has to do a better job times 2.5, you know, and work forwards and backwards. And sideways. Which is what this is all about. Having to work forwards and backwards and sideways. Under the radar, through the radar, all of that stuff. Come from the same place. So interesting. I really feel like now with the Page of Wands, we're talking about in Aries, we have, we can get specific.